Hey there, let's talk about stage 2 of your final project. So stage 2 is going to be available to you once session 10 is open for you, and you will be able to access stage 2 in session 10, and then you will also be able to see the submission link for stage 2 inside of session 11. So just like we did for stage 1, where the first week you can see the assignment, access the assignment, and then the second week you are submitting. So just to remind you, stage 2 is due no later than Tuesday, November the 16th, but it is available to you from Friday, October the 22nd on. When you click on the final project stage 2 link in session 10, you're going to see a screen that you've seen many times before. You're going to make a copy, and this is going to automatically deposit into your Google Drive. And just like for stage 1, I'm going to ask that you very uniquely give your assignment some type of identifying factor. That way, once you return to it, you know where it is in your Google Drive. This way, you do not make multiple copies of the same file and then get mixed up when you return to Google Drive to finish it. Keep in mind, this is just like stage 1, where you're not going to be able to complete this in one setting, and you're going to need to return back to it as you complete. Also, just as a reminder, your brain learns and processes information as it goes, and so not completing in one setting actually is better for you because your brain has time to process the information that you've learned. So I would absolutely suggest breaking this up into multiple sessions and days and time frames for yourself. Okay, jumping into final project stage 2, we're just going to start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom. For number 1, you've been asked to re-identify for me some things from stage 1. So remind me in this first box that grand topic that you selected. Remember that was the chapter from the textbook. And then you are going to re-identify for me the social problem that you selected in stage 1. If you need to go back to that document to figure out what you typed, you can. Okay. So number 2 is asking you to search for some images that you feel represent that social problem. You've done this several times before for other assignments throughout the course, and so you kind of know what this is. I really want you to find images that are impactful to you that represent your social problem. So think about this. Hint, hint. If you were required to create a PowerPoint presentation on your social problem, hint, hint, what images would you use while you were creating that PowerPoint or that Google Slides presentation? Hint, hint. Now, I'm asking you to select 3. If you find more than that, that's totally fine, but for this purpose, you only have to do 3. And then make sure that you are resizing your images. And I'm asking that as on a grand scale between all 3 images that it is just a half a page, not any bigger. Don't put huge items in here because Moodle doesn't always accept files with huge images inside of them. So just make sure you resize them. Don't resize them too small because, you know, these old eyes over here need a little bit of help seeing. Just, you know, maybe like a wallet size photo. Okay, moving on to number 3, excuse me. You are going to do some research. Okay, so this is going to take you a little while. Be prepared. It's going to take you a little while because this is kind of the meat of this entire portfolio is the research. You are going to research your social problem. You're going to research how that social problem affects the family unit or how that social problem affects the members of the family unit. You're going to research potential solutions or help for that social problem. I want you to do lots of reading and lots of searching and lots of reflecting here. Once you have completed all of that, you're going to kind of take that information and turn it into an annotated bibliography. Now, don't get too panicked. I'm not an English instructor, so I don't have, the in-depth create an annotated bibliography directions like an English instructor would. But I do have some expectations for you. So the first part of your annotated bibliography is going to be 3 journal articles. So select 3 journal articles using a library database. And those journal articles that you select really need to display kind of the sociological aspects of your social problem. You are going to see here that Nash Community College has a resource called NC Live, and that is a place for finding scholarly articles. Now, when I say journal articles, I don't mean WRAL news articles that you pulled off the web. So these are scholarly articles or journal articles that come from a library database. There are links here that help you learn about search terms, and there is also a video where one of our librarians recorded to help you figure out how to access NC Live, which is our library database, and how to use it. So please make sure that you click through those links that you see on your screen and really spend some time finding some scholarly articles that truly do address those sociological aspects inside of your social problem. Once you've done the journal articles, you're also going to find multimedia videos that are web-based, meaning you can give me the link for them and I can click on that hyperlink and watch that video as well. And those multimedia videos are going to also address your social problem. So you have watched many videos that I have had for you this semester. So kind of those videos that you watch inside of your journal article or your journal assignments. That's what I'm talking about for the multimedia. All right, I'm going to show you the format of your annotated bibliography. See, it's not too scary. The first one is the journal articles. You'll list here the title. You'll give me a link, and I actually am going to test these links and make sure that they go to the actual article. If they don't, that is points away. So you need to test the links as well. And then I'm going to ask for a faceted summary here. Okay, so I'm not asking for a sentence or a few sentences. I'm asking for a full-on paragraph summary of that journal article. And when I say summary, I do not mean copy and paste the abstract from the journal articles. Okay, if you do that, that is plagiarism, and that will be awarded with a 0 for this part of the assignment. So really read the journal articles and really give me a summary. And double check the link to make sure that the link takes me to the actual article that you are using. For the multimedia videos, we will do the same thing. You will find a video that addresses your social problem. You'll give me the title of the video, the link to the video, and you'll give me a summary. Remember, these summaries are more than a sentence or two. They're in full paragraph form. Moving on to number 4, we are going to spend some time reflecting on how your social problem is intertwined with the family unit. So how does your social problem affect the family unit? I want you to really spend some time here making this really impressive. So the directions here says multi-paragraph form. I'm not asking you to write me a 3-page essay, but I am asking you to write a multi-paragraph response to these questions. And you can review this once you get started in stage 2. I am looking for proof that you have done extensive research and that you are really in tune to how your social problem affects the family unit. There's also an additional spot here for sources. So if you find sources while you are doing your research, please make sure that you are copying and pasting those URLs here. Moving into number 5, and this is going to take a little bit of reflection time on your part. So if we think about macro and micro, we've talked about that a lot. Macro is that large scale, vast, widespread, governmental scale type aspect. So thinking about your problem on a macro scale, what large macro policies, practices, laws can be implemented in order to address your social problem? So large scale, what can be done to fix the problem or to at least make the problem better? That is going to be the macro. You're going to do the same thing for the micro. Okay, so we think about individual choices, small scale, small family units, small communities, small groups. Okay, what can a small group of people or what can an individual do to address the social problem? All right, so if I'm going to give you an example here, maybe homelessness. All right, what can we do large scale, governmental scale to address homelessness? Okay, some sort of policies. All right, then what can I do or what can my group do to address homelessness? Okay, so maybe the macro scale is there's funding for more homeless shelters. The micro scale might be my civic organization serves at a food kitchen and we provide needed items for a homeless shelter. So that's assisting in the problem. When you get to number 6, you're going to think about a super micro scale, which is you as a person. So how does this social problem that you've selected relate to you? And what can you do in particular in your own life to address this problem? So you may have selected a social problem that is near and dear to your heart because it is happening in your family. So what can you do on an individual level? And you can address that aspect like I will do this in the future or I can do this in the future if you are not in a situation to really think about how you can address it right now realistically. Okay, so all of the macro, micro, and super micro, they can be thoughts and ideas. They don't have to be things that you are really going to go out and implement. So just spend some time thinking about that. You may need to do some additional research on ideas that are already out there. And that may kind of give you some ideas for your responses here. And it's okay if this is a bulleted list. But don't just list a few words by each bullet, actually fully explain. And then finally, to wrap things up, here is another reminder of how your final project is going to be graded. Final project stage 2 is what we have just discussed. It is due on Tuesday, November the 16th, and it is worth 10% of the final project as a whole. As you get started in this, certainly reach out to me if you need me, and we can video chat or email back and forth to help you understand better this part of the assignment.